We're going to call the finance meeting to order. Let's begin with a roll call.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Nieder here, Commissioner Hashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
All right, we will open it up for public comment. Is there anyone on, Audrey, for public comment?
I'm not seeing any public comments at this time.
Any public comment in the room at this time? None. We will begin then with the approval of the minutes from March 13th. A second. It's moved and approved. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. We'll go into the topics of discussion. But first, we have a fun proclamation to make here. So we're recognizing 4-H week. We have a proclamation, and some of our guests, I'm sorry, who all do we have here?
We have the backbone of the 4-H program. So we have Lacey, who is the one that makes sure that every detail for every piece of paperwork, child clearance, everything is done. She is like Tina's right hand. And we have Tina, who is our 4-H educator, who is out there training volunteers and reaching our youth.
Wonderful. So what typically, is everything okay?
The live stream on YouTube is not working right now.
Okay.
We have the Zoom recording, but not the and I have reached out to Megan from Service Desk. Jess was having issues with her computer, so I'm trying to get everybody to jump on what's going on.
Would you like to hold the meeting for a few minutes until
we
get that
we'll
resolved?
pause. We're going to just take a 5-minute pause to see if we can get our streaming working. Shoot. You know, the best laid plans.
Carl can entertain us with the shape, right? Yeah.
This was a while. I was looking on the camera.
You're destined for it.
Yeah. Do you want to do pictures? Are you guys okay to do pictures?
Do pictures versus, did you want to read it when it's?
I'll do it when I.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All
I'll hold up for you, Carl.
Okay.
If
If you need anything, let me know.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So received. Go back on stream here. So the proclamation of Cumberland County Commissioners recognizing 4-H week, whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization supporting nearly 6 million youth across the country. And whereas 4-H has helped 1,446 youth in Cumberland County to become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders as they learn by doing. And whereas 4-H in Pennsylvania is delivered by Penn State Cooperative Extension in rural areas, small towns, and cities in all 67 counties of the Commonwealth to more than 77,000 youth ages 5 through 18. And whereas 4-H youth in Pennsylvania are served by a network of staff members and more than 6,000 adult volunteers who engage and mentor youth in learning activities and hands-on projects based on animal science, civic engagement, STEM, and health and wellness. And whereas 4-H inspires kids to achieve and learn and highlights the remarkable youth in Cumberland County who work each day positively impacting those around them. And whereas the 4-H network provides youth with opportunities for leadership, development, career exploration, problem solving, friendships, community involvement, passion, and purpose. And now therefore, the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims March 17th through the 23rd as Cumberland County 4-H Week and encourage our residents to celebrate 4-H for their valuable service and continued efforts to empower youth with the foundation of success for a lifetime. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know I've attended an auction, one of the livestock auctions.
Yes.
And the 4-H students, I was so impressed in this day and age when children don't seem to be capable of talking to adults so easily. They came out and introduced themselves and engaged in conversation. And it was very, very impressive.
Thank you.
As
Work hard to help them with their life skills.
And it shows. Did you all want to say anything else?
Just thank you, commissioners, for the support so we can have programming that reaches so many youth and have a great future here for all of our young adults.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the work you do, and I'm not sure who's going to take that with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
And we're gonna have to go get back to that one.
I left it.
All right, item number 2 is discussion and possible motion to approve entering into an agreement with Middlesex Township Municipal Authority. We have on the line our solicitor, Jen Hipp, who I believe is going to discuss that with us.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you folks hear me okay?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, so last year, the Middlesex Township Authority undertook a study on lands owned by the county. The authority has determined that it needed to look for an additional wellhead to expand its water system. As a result of that study, the authority was able to confirm that it can suitably, safely expand its water supply by having another wellhead location. And the authority would like to purchase approximately 7 acres from the county. The agreement that's before you this afternoon just addresses the terms of that acquisition by the authority, namely that the county would obtain an appraisal of the land to be sold. The cost of the appraisal would be paid by the authority, and then the authority presumably would approve the appraisal price as the sale price for the transfer. Nextly, given that this parcel of approximate 7-acre parcel of ground is to be subdivided from the county's land, the authority would undertake the cost and work to proceed with the subdivision plan and hoped for approval by Middlesex Township. After the subdivision is approved, there'll be a 30-day time period to move towards settlement. There is an exhibit attached to the proposed ordinance noting, or agreement rather, just generally outlining where the land, the 7-acre parcel is located. Of course, that will be determined definitively by the survey. I'm available for any questions, should you have any.
Did anyone questions?
I think we've addressed everything.
We're good.
So I will move to approve entering into an agreement with Middlesex Township Municipal Authority for the authority to test, survey, and possibly acquire a portion of county property for use as a well site.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's not opposed. Thank you, Jen. All right, next up, we have with us from the Conservation District, Mr. Goshorn.
I was able to make it through all the traffic to get here.
What's going
I
on?
don't know, 81's backed up, 81 north is backed up. Hours, they said, I didn't know that, so I tried to get on 11.
Almost not news anymore.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Oops, get back here. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to present some programs that the Conservation District is working with. I was here 6 months ago to talk about a few of our programs, and so wanted to talk about the rest of the programs that we didn't weren't able to talk about at that time. So we'll start out with cover crop program. You guys have heard the Conservation District, and we're really involved heavily in cover crop program. I would say Cumberland County is leading Conservation District as far as longest running program in the state. We've been doing cover crop program for 18 years. And most of the conservation districts in this area might be in their second or third year. Once some CAP money was available, a lot of districts reached out to us and asked us how we ran our program. So we've been doing it for 18 years. We've used funding from Chesapeake Bay, Sunoco, fine money, Marcellus Shale, CAP money. We've all kinds of different sources we've used for the cost share incentive program for the farmers. So we made up signs this year. Duff George, our chairman, come up with the idea. He goes, why don't we promote our cover crop program? So we made up 6 signs, strategically put them along some busy roads. We even have one along 81, even though it's a little bit small for 81, but we'll get it bigger next year when we do that. So here, yeah.
Excuse me, for just 1 second. Would you mind explaining why doing a cover crop is important?
Sure. First of all, the cover crop is small grain. It could be wheat, rye, barley, triticale, spelts. And so what farmers do mostly, once they take their corn silage off, there's no residue left on that field, where they take soybeans off. So they want to have cover on that field so it protects the soil. Helps with nutrients, erosion control, with wind, water erosion, helps keep the soil alive and microbes working down underneath. So it's a lot of good, even weed suppression things. So there's a lot of benefits for cover crop. And a lot of times farmers will even plant into green in the spring. And so that's another good benefit there. And we had one farmer say he was really convinced last May, when we hardly had any rain and things were not growing, and you would thought farmers were really getting concerned because we weren't getting the rain. Well, one farmer told us he was convinced cover crops was the way to go because he planted corn, no-till corn into it, and that cover crop held the moisture. So he was it was growing, even though he wasn't getting any rain, it was still growing because of the moisture held by the cover crop. So
thank you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great benefits. This is just a breakdown of this past year's cover crop program. We had $150,000. We had 95 farmers actually sign up for our program. We even had 2 sign up for the CEG program. So a total of 97 farmers signed up, and that's the most participation we've ever had in any program. So it's really, we talk to the farmers, really it's word of mouth. I mean, we do promote it in newsletters and things like that, but a lot of times they'll call in and say, I was talking to so-and-so farmer and he said he participates. So word of mouth really spreads to participate in this program. So we're really happy, and it's grown. Yeah, like I said, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, we had 40 farmers participate. Now we're almost at 100. We've actually increased our funding. We used to give around $40,000. Now, because of CAP money, Marcellus Shale money, we've increased that. So now we have $150,000 coming from the state for that program. So we're really happy with that program participation. Next, highlight our golf tournament. We're in like our 21st or 22nd year of our golf tournament. We started it when we were celebrating our 50th year at the Conservation District. So we decided to continue it. And so all the proceeds go towards scholarships, a lot of college scholarships they would give. Here's just some of the participants in that picture there. There's 2 presidents of engineering firms and the gentleman's in charge of, I think it's the authority at Silver Spring Township. So we had a lot of good participation there.
That's Carrie and John Murphy.
Yep. And Jim Stevens is on the right with Silver Spring Township Authority. And there we have a couple of characters that were trying to discuss how we're not going to count their ball that went OB. So, so it was good to throw them in there. But there's our financial report, our income. We have, in a golf tournament, mostly it's your sponsorship that makes up your money. You don't make much money on the actual participants and everything. So it's a lot of sponsorship and our profit, $8,738. Like I said, that goes towards scholarships, mostly help out scholarships. The district, we also give some money towards Farm Bureau scholarship, participate with that. So it's a good cause, and we're going to, like I said, continue it annually.
And I guess Stoner took PTO for that day, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did. We'll have to ask him. Next is our Envirothon, Cumberland County Envirothon. It's been going on since the late 80s when it started. Last year, we held the competition at the Possum Lake for the first time. We felt it'd be good to go up there and introduce Possum Lake to some children, kids that probably had never been up there. And then they can see that, good recreation, fishing, boating, things like that up there. So what the Envirothon is for senior high students. They get tested in aquatics, forestry, soils, and wildlife. And then there's always a current issue station. So they come for a day, get tested, and then the winner goes on to the state competition. Here we had, you can see Barb Lyman there in the brown jacket. She came, and I know Jean has came there last year also to see the participation of the students. Last year we had over 100 students. We normally get 100 to 120 students that come that day. I think 7 of the 9 public school districts participated. We have had all 9 some years participate. Depends how it falls in their schedule and everything. There's always AP testing that runs into issues with the scheduling and everything. There's a game commission giving their test, administering the test.
So it's a joint effort with the Game Commission?
Yeah, so we get cooperating agencies. We get DCNR, Bureau of Forestry, Game Commission, Fish Commission. They come and give the test, right? So we do get other agencies involved. And, we talked to some students that we've talked to that have come working with districts or other agencies that they got talking to, let's say the WCO at the Envirothon, that got them interested in, that kind of field. So they would get to talk with those agencies. And they're sitting there at the current issue station is the 5th station. Each year it's a different topic. So you never know what that's going to be. There's the aquatic station. We had tents there last year. There's the overall winner. We got tents, which we're glad we did. We kind of have a misty rain, very cold, windy day, very miserable day, but the kids seem to enjoy it.
Carl, was that a mud puppy?
Isn't that a hellbender?
Oh, I
It's
thought,
a hellbender.
Hellbender.
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever was in that container, even though the container had a lid on it, it crawled. It was some kind of salamander. It was,
Yeah. They try to bring live specimens if they can get them. And the winning team was from Cumberland Valley High School. They went on to the state competition. You see, finished 19th out of 63 teams. That's pretty impressive. So Cumberland Valley's been winning a lot of the competitions lately, but it runs in cycles.
My alma mater.
Next, got a couple slides of the Dirt and Gravel Roads program. So that program, we get state money to help with municipalities to install best management practices on their road, dirt and gravel road, or a low volume road. A low volume road is a paved or tarred and chip road that has 500 vehicles or less a day. So there's criteria. So we're not going to be giving municipality any money for 81 or Route 11. It's got to be low vehicle count. So this is the culvert. Before we did the work, it was about a 15-inch plastic culvert, really wasn't handling the water. This was in Lower Mifflin Township, Pipeline Road, I believe it is. And this is what it is afterwards. So it was a stream coming down off the mountain. So during heavy rains, it would get pretty big. So that size culvert is not going to handle much water. but this will. And this culvert, which they are trying to push, is a bottomless culvert. It has no bottom to it. So what they want to do is have the bottom of it as natural as can be, so for aquatic life. So if you just had a regular culvert, that's going to wash through there, and there's no habitat for the aquatic life. So here, they actually got in there and have stone, just like you see outside. That's underneath too. So the contractor really likes to do that work. That's difficult work to get it underneath there when you don't have much room. So that was the end product there. So we have an application period every year for municipalities who go through a training where they're eligible for funding if they go through a 2-day training. And my watershed specialist is actually at her first training. It's in Johnstown today and tomorrow. And so Mount Holly Springs is there, which we've talked about, Ridge Road. They're there to get certified because they didn't have anyone certified, so they wouldn't be eligible until they had a person take that 2-day testing or training. So after they do the 2-day training, they'll be eligible, and hopefully we can get Ridge Road, get some work done there. Next up, we'll talk about agriculture. Conservation Excellence Grant Program. It's a state program. It has a lot of federal funding. Most of the funding that we got in Cumberland was federal funding. Some other counties got state funding, depending how they divvied it out. This is a lagoon out at Central Valley Farms. It's on Keith Jones Farm. That's where they're going to have a methane digester built, and they hope to have it built by fall. And this lagoon will take the effluent from the digester will go into this lagoon. It's several $1 million gallon lagoon. So we built it because the funding was running out, knowing that the digester was going to be built. So there you see there.
So Carl, what's the purpose of it going into the lagoon then?
Well, so they'll separate, the methane digester will separate the solids and liquids. And so the liquids will go in there, and they'll be able to apply that to the fields. There'll still be nutrients in that liquid.
Okay.
So they build it for big capacity, obviously. So that, they'll apply it to the fields at the proper time.
What kind of liner is that?
It's a rubber liner, nice thick rubber. It's a rubber liner.
Like a pool liner.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but I think it was a lot thicker than a pool liner. Yeah. And there's always, we buy signs to put up, so they have signs all around there, so people know that, it'll be dangerous to get in there, especially once.
Don't go swimming.
Yeah, you don't want to go swimming in there. You wouldn't make it out. So.
Will this be a really odorous pit for the community?
We hope so, because the methane digester should take out some of that smell. So that's what we're hoping, because they do receive some of the FPRs. And so we hope that FPRs will run through that digester and it won't have the odor that it has now. Yes. Yep. This I got a few before and after pictures. So I wanted to show you how bad the farm may look. And Denny McCullough probably wouldn't mind me saying that it's his farm, because we've made great improvements. This was about a year ago in the spring. He called and says, "You want to come out and get pictures?" Because it's his worst case scenario. Just had some rain and snow melt. And so you see the cattle standing in manure and the water. And notice this hill, because when the after pictures has a nice walkway for the cattle. But, environmentally, that's bad. It's limestone area where water will get down into the groundwater. He's only a quarter mile away from the Big Spring Creek. And, so in herd health, you see that's not good. And there you see another angle. And so the next few pictures show, would you rather have the cattle in this or this area? So much better. It's so smooth. I said I could lay in there. It was so clean and everything. It was amazing. So it's called a roofed heavy use area with a stacking pad. And you see the concrete wall. That's where the manure will get stacked to once because this is like only weeks after they were put in there. And there's a walkway, it's a stone walkway, fenced in. So great improvements,
Wow.
you know, environmentally and like hurt health wise also. And he's out on 233 right before you come into Newville, this farm. ACAP program, Ag Conservation Assistance Program. We just started that, got money for that. That's a new state program, mostly federal money also. And this was our first project. So at the Scherer farm on 696 between Shippensburg and Newburgh. And this was his grandfather's farm. We did work there 30 years ago. There's a level lip spreader and the manure was going to be separated and the liquid come out and it was supposed to come out level and just, you know, go into the grass filler. Well, after 30 years of ground settling and everything, you see it concentrated. So the manure was concentrating. And if you look down at the road area, there's a stream down there just a couple 100 yards away. And the consanguinate is no more than like 300 yards away. So liquid manure was getting into the stream. So we came in and we put a manure storage in there. So he will have all that liquid. And he did an analysis of the liquid and he determined that, you know, he could pay for a farm or somebody to haul the manure and it was worth it because of the nutrient value that he determined. He goes, it was worth saving it and putting it on the field at the right time. So it's going to save him a lot of commercial fertilizer. So that was our first project. We have $2.8 million to spend on projects through the end of 2026. This was a $100,000 project. And so he's very happy with it.
Carl, when was this done? Was this done
Last November.
Last November?
Finished up in November.
So, and didn't fertilizer go up significantly?
Oh, it's always going. It's going up all the time. Yes. So
that truly his cost savings even improved potentially over the
last. Yeah, he goes, when he was thinking about it, he was talking with our staff whether he wanted to do this or not. You know, his out of pocket was what, $10,000 or so. And he goes, after I did analysis, talked with some people, he goes, I'll get my money back in no time by putting that on the ground and letting the nutrient value for the crops. He figured he'd have a good return. Yep. So this is the money that was spent last year in CEG, but you also see the second column of the farmer out-of-pocket cost. Our cost share for CEG and ACAP is 90%, but CEG's, there's a limit of $250,000. So there's a lot of out-of-pocket expense also, especially on the Central Valley farms where they have the digester and all the other expenses. So the farm, it is a good deal for the farmers, but there's also expense for the farmers out of pocket. And you see the number of the BMPs that we installed last year under the CEG program. So we're very active, and this year we have actually a big project going on now in the Newburgh area. It's a stacked roofed heavy use area and manure storage.
HUA.
Yeah, heavy use area. Yep, heavy use area. Yep. And I wanted to finish up, since this is a finance meeting, with showing some numbers. This is our county subsidy that we've asked the county for since 2013. And even though our numbers of staff has gone up and obviously expenses, our subsidy has gone down in the last 10 years. And I feel that this year coming up, it will even be less. I think our meeting is scheduled for June, and I'll be able to give you some details. And Gene heard our last board meeting, some details where we can cut back on our subsidy for this year. So that's all I have right now. Any questions you might have?
Carl, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Gary, did you have any questions?
All right, thanks.
All right.
All right. Carl. Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the board at this time? Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.